In the last class, what I had told you that on the basis of the list and the string, today we will move forward up to the tuple from tuple, and then we will see how can the loop structure also. The thing is that whatever it's your problem may arise, issue may arise, but you should interact with me. And sometime you can interact in my WhatsApp number. You can call me after 9 or 10 p.m. Whatever you have any problem, you can interact with me. It's not that you are going to interact with the HR or interact with the CEO of the company. That will be not fruitful to you. If you interact with me, that will be fruitful to you, and it will, I think, the problem will be solved, right? So whatever you have any problem, somebody said that I cannot able to load the Python, then you can ask, then you can call me in some other day, or not in this session. I can give you a Google link to you, and I will show you the how you can load the Python in your laptop or in your machine. But you have to interact with me. The things are to be sorted out in a proper way, in a proper manner. So we will proceed up to today. We will start with tuple. So x equal to, suppose I'm writing signal signal system and the network. And suppose I'm writing print within bracket, I'm writing X, and I am inserting suppose 1 to 2. Suppose 0 to 3 or 0 to 2. So only the two vectors represent. So this represent the range of index. Range of indexing in the tuples. So if I do this thing in negative indexing, what should I do? If I want to show the negative indexing, what should I do? Range of index. What should I write?
-1, -2.
Minus
-1, -2.
it shows something? It shows nothing.
-1, 2. -3, 2.
Is it?
Can you please explain, sir?
No. In this is in negative indexing. In case of the tuple, which specify the starting point, that is the -3, from -3 to -2, right? So here only, in case of the tuple, the the negative point, the negative indexing -3, which one is the -3 and the -2? Since the -2, this, in case of tuple, if I want to represent it in the second item, then I have to make it positive. In case of, in the list, that is the different issue, but in case of the tuple, I have to make it positive, otherwise I cannot see the two items. But here in the second case, I have seen the two negative. Here the value is negative, this one is negative. So this negative, this part of negative index, negative, signifies the -3 represent the signal. The signal is over there, and the minus, this -2, after that it doesn't represent the system, because in the negative indexing of the tuple, I have to make it this one is positive, then only it will show. That is why only one item is showing over here, right? That is, the minus refers to the last item, the last item which will refers, that is will be shown over here in case of the tuple. So negative indexing begins from the end of -2, refers to -3 refers to the last item, and which refers to the that is the last item, that is the last item, that is the signal. The signal is the last item which will show over here. And the next one, if I want to show the next item, then I have to make it positive in case of the tuple. Now, what should I do if I want to convert, if I want to change a particular item in the tuple? As we know that in the tuple, in case of the tuple in Python, is not mutable; it is unmutable. So if I want to change a particular item in the tuple, what should I do? Now I am taking this one. Now I take another variable y, and then if I want to change a particular item, then I have to convert this tuple into list. I'm converting into list, and the item I want to change, that is, suppose I want to change the first item, that is, first item means the system, and that is the index 1. So with index 1, I am writing over here circuit theory. So then I'm writing x equal to the tuple y, and then I am printing the value of x. The tuple is changed, the system is changed to circuit theory. So here I am converting the tuple into list. The index which I want to change, that is I have to mention over there, and then I convert the tuple and then I convert the list again into the tuple, and I'm printing the value of the tuple, that is the x. So this is basically, in this way, if I want to convert the particular item in the tuple, then I have to convert the tuple into list. So converting the list, converting the tuple I think you can able to find the length of the tuple. You can able to find the length of the tuple. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you able to find the length of the tuple?
Is the length is 2.
Can you show it? Can you share your screen?
No, sir.
Can you explain how we find the length is 2? How you find the length is 2? Can you explain it?
Sir, print bracket alien bracket X and bracket closed.
So what is the alien? What alien do?
The length function, sir.
Is it a length function or alien refers to the name of the function?
Alien is a length function, sir.
It's a length function. The function name is length. The function name is len. Len is the name of the function. When with the help of that name of the function, I can able to find the length of the tuple. Right. So y is equal to least x, and then I'm using y dot append if I want to insert the Bode plot. Then x equal to, I'm again converting the list into tuple by using the function name tuple, and then I'm print the tuple. Print the tuple. See, the Bode plot is appended. We know that in append function is general. In append function, the vectors are appended even at the end of the tuple, at this in the similar way as it in the list. So this is the append method, and I'm using this. Mm, if I use y dot insert, then if I want to insert some item at 1 comma is true magnetics. So after that, I'm again converting the list. Then I convert the list into tuple.
So what is the significance of converting list into tuples or tuple into list?
In tuple, since the tuple is unmutable, so I have to convert the tuple into list. Otherwise, I cannot able to modify the tuple. I cannot able to insert the vectors into the tuple. We cannot insert the vectors directly into the tuple because tuple is unmutable. So if I want to insert or append any vectors into the tuple, I have to convert it into the list because the list is mutable. And that is why I have to convert the tuple into list. Now I'm print X. So electromagnetics is inserted. So this is the insert method. And suppose X equal to, I'm inserting few numbers. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
This type of brackets are only used for tuples.
Yes. Now y equal to, now there in this in the tuple there are 3, 7. So what function do which I want to use over here? I had already explained it in the earlier class. The method, the name of the method. In the tuple, there are 3, 7. I want to read the number. What method I should use?
Sir, count function.
What the count function do?
Count the number of and here it will count the number of sevens. How many sevens are there in the list or in the tuple?
আপনি একটু পরে ফোন করবেন, আপনি 10টার পরে করুন। what the count function do? Hello?
It counts how many number of 7 in that tuple.
So it count the how many number of 7 in the tuple. So the count function used to count the duplicate values, right? So if I write x equal dot count, right? And if I write print x, print y, and if I want to run, it gives error. Why? It gives an error. Why? Can you say why this error is coming? Can you say?
So specify
Sir,
the
we have to
7.
insert 7 in that bracket.
We have to
Why?
insert 7 inside the argument.
Why? Why?
Because sir, what we have to identify that have to mention in that count or that in the function. After that, it will run.
Hmm.
So these things are required for okay. Can you explain? Can you say that what is constructor?
Sir, you are not audible clearly.
What is constructor? Can you say? You know what is constructor?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. So assigning values.
Hmm. Passing the values is not a constructor. The constructor is basically a method it is used to initialize a function, right? So any function can be initialized with the help of the constructor. So here tuple is basically a function, print is a function, tuple is a function, insert is a function, all are functions, but the name of the function varies. The list is a function, the name of the function is list. Insert is a function, the name of the function is insert. So tuple is also a function, the name of the function is tuple. So any function, so any kind of to initialize a function, we use constructor. So constructor is used to initialize a functions, right? So tuple using we can by use of tuple using the tuple method we can use to make a tuple, right? So that can be done. So if I say x equal to I write double here and then three so this is a constructor. So constructor is basically it is possible to use so using a tuple method a tuple can be constructed. So a constructor is basically so tuple acts as a constructor. The constructor is used to initialize a function. A function is initialized by the constructor. Now we move to the set. So what is a set? A set is a collection of vectors which is unordered and unindexed. Set is a collection of vectors which is unordered or collection of items which is unordered and unindexed. So in set the items are not in order and they are not in index form. So any kind of item can be accessed in a random way. That is, it can be accessed randomly. So we can define the set x equal to suppose this one. So this is a set. So set is defined in this way. So set is defined by the second bracket. By the pair of braces. In list, the list is defined by square bracket. The tuple is defined by the single braces. Is defined by the single background bracket, first bracket, but in set is defined by the pair of braces. So if I say the pair of braces, then it defines a set. So if I want to remove a particular item from the set, what should I do?
So we can use pop function.
We can use pop function, but here we can use, here I want to remove a particular item from the set. What should I do? What should I do?
So we can use delete function, sir.
I'm not using the delete. I want to remove.
X dot remove
Remove, sorry. Remove. I'm printing the value of x. The same way as in a list and tuple. So can you say the difference? Can you say the difference between these two? Can you say the difference between these two?
So pop removing the first vector of the set.
But the pop does not, but from pop we don't know, it is we know that in pop function the last item will be removed, but here what we see, the first item is removed. Why? According to the pop function, in the pop function the last item, that is network, should be removed, but here the first item, the signal, is removed. Why?
So last item removed in the list function.
The last item, I am not talking about the list, I am talking about the pop function in set. So pop function in the set, it is seen that according to the pop function, in general pop function, we know that the last item should be removed, the last 10 first out, that is pop. So here the first item is removed. Why? And moreover that, if whenever I'm using the remove function, in the remove function, the item I want to remove, that should be specified into the remove function. That is, I'm passing that particular item into the argument list. But in case of pop function, I do not have to need to pass the item into the argument. So in the pop function, it automatically removes that particular item from the set. But here in the set, the first item is removed because the set is an unordered and unindexed form. That is the item which are given in the set are unordered and unindexed form. So any item can be removed randomly. So not in the index, as it is in unindexed form, it is not indexed. That is, the items are not in index form. That is, the items are not stored or are not allocated in the set in consecutive manner. So any item can be removed from the set as it is in unindexed form. So any item can be removed from anywhere. So here, so whenever a pop function is used, the first item signal is removed. So as the set is in unindexed, unordered, and unindexed. One. Then I'm using x2. I want to see these two set in a single set. What should I do? X1 is a set, X2 is a set. I want to see the 2x set in a single set. What should I do?
So by using for loop,
I'm not, I do not know, want to go through the loop structure. Without using loop, I want to see the two set in a single set. What should I do?
the
So we
small
can
x is
use
equal to
union function.
What should I write?
small x is equal to
Small x.
yes, sir.
Small x equal to
X1 plus x2
x1 plus, sorry, x1 plus x2.
small x.
Then small x.
Yes, sir.
After that, then small x.
No, sir. Next in the next line, print
Print small x. Okay, it gives error.
Sir, can we use union method?
What should I write?
X1 equal to x2 dot union. Sorry,
x1
sorry, x3
X equal to yes.
x equal to
x equal to
x1 dot
x1 dot
union
union
bracket x2. Print x.
So this is just a simple set theory. So using the union function, I'm just uniting the two set into a single set. So,
Why the union like this way? It should be signal, system, network, then trajectory, and this way. No? I told you. Why this x1 and x2 mixed up?
I had already explained it that the set in set, the all the items are unordered and unindexed. So not in a so the item will be not represented in a consecutive way in an indexed form. What you have told you, what you have said. So so the two set are combined, but it is in unindexed as it is as the set. As we know in the set, the items are arranged in an unordered and unindexed form. Hello. Now, if
Sir,
mm,
sir, I have one question, sir.
yes,
What is the benefit of using tuple or set if it is like set is unordered or tuple cannot be modified? So, what is the benefit of using those functions?
now the thing is that in it depends on the coding. Now the benefit is what I it may be advantages or disadvantages that I when I will start to coding and the project or any program or any problem, it depends on the benefit on my coding. That is the main benefit. And the some functions, something which is now this in set, there are few functions which are not present in the list. In tuple there are few functions which are not present in the list or in other or in the dictionary. So if I want to use those functions, then I have to go to the tuple, and in that case I have to convert the tuple into list. If I want to use some set theory function, then I have to go to the set, then I have to use the set functions. So in that, so it depends on the problem which the client given to me, and the project is handed to me. So it depends on that condition, on that problem, I have to use the set or the tuple. So it depends on the problem.
Okay, sir. Got it.
if I want to see the item in the set x1 but not in the set x2, what should I do? Can you say me?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
If I want to see the item that only exists in x1 and not in x2, what should I do? Or in other words, if I say that if I want to see the item that exists in x2 and not in x1,
So we have to use intersection function.
so can you say me? So what should I write? Z is equal to
Sir, x equal to x1 intersection bracket x2.
x equal to just a minute. Hello? বলুন।
Hello, sir. Are you there?
Sorry, there's a phone from outside. So here we use the difference function. So the difference function here signifies that in the first function, the x1, x2 are the two sets. So in this different function signifies the item which are present in x1 but not in x2. That is printed over here. When I am writing x1, that is the items which are to be present in x1 and the difference with the item of x2. That is why I want to show the items of x1 but not the items which are present in x1 but not in x2. That is been deferred by this difference function. So I want to show the item of x1, so I am writing in this way. If I want to show the item of x2, then I have to write in this way now, right? Clear? Is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is not an intersection. This is difference, not an intersection. Right? So if I want to make it intersection, what should I do? Now I want to make it intersection. What should I do? In case of making the intersection, I have to make one common item over here. Otherwise, the intersection cannot be done. So I want to make x1. X1 should be intersect with x2, right?
Sir, put a comma after quantitative techniques.
Now I'm again taking the two steps. I write z is equal to 1 x1 dot disjoint z x2, and I print the value of z. So let's say hello, একটু 10টা পর করবেন। The ease disjoint is another function of set theory where it shows that um, if no item in x1 is present in the x2, which shows in the second one, that is why it shows true, because the no item, when I'm using is disjoint with x2, no item of x1 is present with the item in the set x2. That is why it is showing the boolean value true. And if the item of x1 is present in x2, then it shows that yes, the item of x1 is present in the x2. So it shows the disjoint function is false. The disjoint function will be true if the no item of x1 is present in the x2. As the item of x1 is present in the x2, hence it shows false. So if I want to make that all the items, if I want to show the all the items of x1 is present in x2, what function I will write? What set function I will write?
The union.
No, union makes the two set union.
Subset set.
Sorry,
Subset.
subset means
Whether the X1 component is present in the X2 or not.
what should I write over here?
X equals to X1 dot subset
x equal to sorry x equal to x1 dot
subset
subset
x2 in between.
x2, then
Print x
then
print x
then I will write print x. Will it work? But this I will not do. You will do it. This is your home task, right? So, which this will be not subset. Here it is saying that the attribute set object has no attribute subset. So subset, this function is wrong.
is subset is
Why it is given false? This should not be false. It should be true according to the is subset function. But it is given false. Why? You are getting the output, but this output
yes, sir.
is not true according to this function. Is subset function is used to becomes true if all the items of x1 is present in the x2. Is the all the items of x1 is present in x2 here in the x2 set, whether there is signal system and network? No. So it is showing false. I want to make it true. What should I do?
Make any vector common.
So you have to make any vector common, right? In that case, what
Yes, sir.
you should do? This will be your home task. You will show it in the next class to me.
Okay, sir.
Suppose x equal to 1. Now, I want to show, I want to make, I want to, in the output, I want to show 1, 4, 9, 16. Sorry, 1, 4, 6, and 8, 10, 12. What should I do? 1, I'm again repeating, 1, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. What should I do? In the output, I want to see. I will use a for loop for num in x. After that, I will print the num with so here x is the list of the element. I'm using a for loop for num. Num is basically the index which is used within the list using an in operator. In is an operator. In operator uh, is showing the list of the element in the list X, and the num is the index value of each of the element in the list. If I make each of the index value with respect to index value, I'm multiplying with the 2. Then
Your voice is not clear though.
is it audible?
Some noise is though. You are not audible.
Is it audible now?
Yes, sir.
So here I'm using the list of element and I'm using a for loop. This is the syntax of the for loop. I'm using for. The num is basically an index. The num, which index value. In is basically an operator in the list X. So with the help of each of the index, I am just multiplying the index value with the list of the element, and I'm getting the output like this, right? So, okay. Nah. So I think that you can able to do 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18. Will you able to do this? Will you able to do this? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18.
Yes, sir.
Now, right. Python. Yeah, right. So here the string is Python. I'm using a for loop over here. Now the length, the Python over here is repeated to 5 times, 6 times, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Python is repeated over here in 6 times. So why it is repeating like this? হ্যালো হ্যালো একটু পরে আপনাকে আমি ফোন করছি। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ একটু পরে ফোন করছি আপনাকে, এই নাম্বারেই করছি, আমিই করছি। Now here the string is given is Python. So here it is repeated in the Python is repeated 6 times. So for num in string, this is a string. So with for the first string character p, the Python is repeated because I want to print Python. This print Python for each of the character in the string. I want to print the Python for each character of the string. So the first character is P. For that, I am writing Python. Y, Python. T, Python. H, Python. For O, Python. And for N, Python. Since I know that the Python has an index value for this space is also calculated, but since I am not calculating the space as the Python takes the index value in -1, so it should calculate up to, it should read up to 6. So for each character of the string, the Python is printed. So that is why the Python, this string Python is repeated 6 times for each characters in the string. So this is one of the application of for loop in the string. is less than 8,
Sir, you are not audible.
while j is less than 8,
Sir,
and
in input number 30, if I want to print Python 5 times, then what I have to do?
input number,
30.
yes, just a minute, I'm concentrating this one. Print j, and if I write if j equal to j equal to 5, just a minute. Equal to 5, and then I use the break statement. Then I use j equal j plus equal to 1. Right. Hmm.
Sir, can you explain what you have done?
Just a minute. Mm.
স্যার আমরা কি লিভ করে যাবো স্যার?
Just a minute. Now, in Google Colab 2, the thing is the output is looking like this, right? And in the Jupyter, it is also looking like this. Now, why it is happening, I will explain it on the next class. Now, there is a reason why it is happening, why I'm using the break over here, the break statement is over here, and why the output is showing like this. In the two notepad, the output is showing the similarity, the same thing. I will explain it in the next class. And which one? Someone is telling something.
Sir, what is the difference between for loop and while loop? Why we are using in different statements?
For loop is much easier than while loop. That's why we are using. And for loop is more. It require it. It doesn't require so much of line as in the while loop. That's why we are using for loop. It is more easier to code rather than in while loop we are using more lines of code. In for loop we are using single line of code. That is why we are using for loop. Any other question? Anybody from any question? Somebody is asking something regarding the 34 and 35. Somebody asking something regarding 30.
Yes, your screen is not visible.
Yes. In
I'm asking that if I want to print Python only 5 or 4 times, then what I have
I am not getting to what you are saying.
to do, sir.
I am not getting to what you are saying. There are some noise coming.
Sir, the question is that if we have to print Python for 30 or 35 times, in that case, how we will get it?
30 to 30. In that case, we have to use a for loop, not in Python in 30-35 times. That in that case, we have to use for loop in different way, not in this way. This one is for each character of the string. I am getting Python. For each character of the string, I am getting the output Python. And you are saying for printing Python 30 to 35 times, so what should I code? That is not identical to this one. That is different. And in that
Sir,
case, we have to use for loop.
sir, you have printed Python for 5 times, right, sir? If I want to print Python for 5 times, then what I have to code?
I have printed Python for 6 times, which
Sorry,
you are counting from 0.
sorry, sir. For 6 times you have printed, but if I want to print Python for 5 times in same code, then what I have to do?
In the same code, if I want to, then I have to in the same code, I have here the character, the number of character is 6. So if I want to print Python in 5 times, then I have to write up to pytho. The Python will be printed 5 times.
Means sir,
No,
the
no,
number
sir.
of
No, sir.
word
My question is not that.
containing.
Sir, my question is the what is Python, but I want to print it for 5 times. Python for
Hmm.
5 times, not 6 times.
Then
Then
I
why
have to
what I
use-
have to post?
Then I have to use while loop.
Sir, can you please show it because it will
I
be
will
more
show
easy.
it. I will show it in next day. Right. I will show it on next day. Any other question? Any other question? Okay. Who is asking this question? For printing Python 5 times, can you name your please?
Me, sir. Shubhashish.
Okay, I will WhatsApp you. Can you give your WhatsApp number
Okay, sir.
in the group? You give your WhatsApp number in the group. I will give.
Okay, sir.
So I am wrapping the session. Okay, fine. Thank you.